Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're dialing in from today. Welcome to this webinar, which is the 14th edition of our knowledge sharing platform and webinar series, the Cities Changing Diabetes Rounds. My name is Joe Jewell. I'm the director of the Cities Changing Diabetes Programme, which is a public-private partnership established in 2014 by Novo Nordisk, Steno Diabetes Centre and UCL. We've been working to address urban diabetes and obesity across the world now for more than 10 years. And of course, one of the things that we focus on is reaching vulnerable populations in cities with a view to improve the daily conditions of life, give them opportunities to have healthier behaviours. And we take a specific focus on the shared risk factors for diabetes, obesity and other chronic diseases, including, for example, unhealthy diet and physical inactivity. And what we work for is to create the conditions, so looking at how we can enable people to live in healthier environments, but how we can also work through community organisations to support people with the capacity and skills that they need to be healthy. Over the 10 years that the programme has been running, we have now reached 45 cities and we're working with more than 200 partners around the world. And we use this webinar series as an opportunity to showcase and profile some of the interesting work that we are doing around the world. And today we're pleased to bring an example close to home here in Copenhagen. We're welcoming the Copenhagen-based non-profit organisation Hello Kitchen. Hello Kitchen runs cooking courses for vulnerable families, working in collaboration with Danish municipalities here in Denmark. And we are pleased to welcome two speakers here today, Mette Bøgebjerg Jørgensen, who is the Managing Director of Hello Kitchen, and Jonas Vigkilde, who is the Head of Activation. And both will be speaking to us today about how the program that they're running empowers parents with the skills and knowledge to create healthier dishes from scratch, and also how the work that they do with families influences eating behaviours and can support sustainable change for future generations in eating behaviours and enjoying the joys of cooking. The way we will schedule the programme today is that we will have around 25 minutes of presentations from Mette and Jonas, who will be going over the programme and looking at how they're working to engage communities around healthy eating. And then we will go into a Q&A session. So I already want to point out to those of you joining online that we have a question mark in the right-hand side of your screen. And so you can have the opportunity to already input your question. One of my colleagues is actually collating these questions and will be feeding them through to me so that we can make sure that your questions reach us and we can ask the speakers about your questions. We're hoping for a really dynamic discussion for the remainder of the time that we have after the presentation. But I'm really looking forward to hearing from Mette and Jonas. And so first, let us hear from Mette, who will take us off with an introduction to the programme. Thanks, Mette.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Joel. We have been looking very much forward to this presentation, and I'm the lucky one. I'll begin, and afterwards you'll meet my good colleague Jonas, and then I'll actually go out again, and he'll come in again, and we'll keep you activated this way. So today we're going to talk about how we are working with achieving healthier eating through engagement at community cooking classes. We are Hello Kitchen, a non-profit association, and we established Hello Kitchen 6 years ago. Our vision is to strengthen the health of Danes through involving and innovative cooking classes and other food and community activities. We really want to contribute to reducing health inequality by making it possible for families to join a cooking class close to where they live, where they can experience the feeling of being a part of a community and the joy of actually cooking healthy food together with your children. So that's what we're going to talk about today. You can see here on the screen we have developed and conducted and expanded different concepts, but today we'll talk mostly about Dad's Cookery School for fathers and their children, and the Family Kitchen, which is for families in vulnerable residential areas. We'll start with the key messages for those of you who may be in a hurry, but also to get the most important first. We've been working with this for 10 years now, and we found out that it actually is possible to create interest in healthy food and give families skills to make healthy food when we do it as a community-oriented and practical activity. We also found out that it's very important with the social aspect. The thing that people are coming for is to be together with their children. And of course also when it's a joyful and fun activity. We also found out that when we bring families together on a cookery school, on a food activity, there are many positive side effects, and we'll let you know along the way today. Our motivation to get into this work with cooking classes is actually based in some of the challenges that we see in our society today. We know that healthy food is a key ingredient in a healthy lifestyle, but it's hard for many people. Home-cooked meals in Denmark are declining. Only 1 in 10 families involve their kids in preparing the daily meal, and children are not taught how to cook their own evening or their own meals, even though they actually would like to be a part of preparing the meals, and even though that they enjoy cooking. We also know that unhealthy eating may be a risk factor in developing type 2 diabetes and overweight and obesity. And we know that these conditions are prevalent particularly among men and people who have lower levels of education. And now I'll introduce a man to you and a father. And here comes Jonas, and he will tell you more about our story and our journey with Dad's Cookery School.
Thank you so much, Mette, and thank you all for listening. So our journey actually started 11 years ago and not 10 years ago, as Mette said. As Mette said, we started our non-profit organization 6 years ago. So the first 5 years, we were actually working in a municipality near Copenhagen called Vallensbæk. And in this municipality, or in all the municipalities around Denmark, there's a big problem with men's health. So we drink too much, we smoke too much, we don't go to the doctor in time. So we actually die much younger than the women. So we had a problem to get these men to come to lifestyle changing courses in the municipality. And so we came up with the idea, what about if we invite their children to come and cook with their dads? So we handed out invitation to children from 8 to 10 years old in the elementary schools. And it was a great success from the beginning. We had 100 men coming and cooking with us for 3 days. And so we found out here's something that can attract men. So we started by making like 5 times that they could come, one time a month. And I was the one who was teaching the first 3 years. And it was amazing, beside that I was eating Italian tomato sauce 10 times a week, 10 times a month, sorry. But it was a help because we found out how to put together the teaching session. And I'll come to that in a few minutes. But first, I want to take you to the kitchen school, and I'm sorry, but unfortunately, there's not English subtitles. But I hope that you can feel the environment and feel the happy faces of the children and the dads. So let's see how it works at Dad's Kitchen School.
Der er en god stemning, lidt omklædningsstemning, ligesom når vi er til fodbold.
Klar.
Og vi ser godt ud, mens vi laver mad.
Fars Køkkenskole er Danmarks første madlavningskursus kun for fædre og børn, der udover de fælles køkkenoplevelser også får sunde vaner og ikke mindst kvalitetstid med hinanden.
Det er simpelthen en fornøjelse. Det er sjovt at have noget tid sammen med ens børn og nogle forældre fra, kan man sige, fra skolen. Så det er en super god måde at være sammen på og have noget kvalitetstid.
Det er rigtig dejligt, fordi man har noget tid sammen med sin far, hvor man samtidig også får lavet nogle nye ting. Jeg synes, det er godt, fordi så er man også lidt mere sammen med sin far.
Det er sjovt, og man lærer meget mere, og man bruger tiden på noget fornuftigt, i stedet for bare at sidde derhjemme og spille computer og alt muligt.
Og oplevelserne og de nye vaner, de bliver ikke kun på køkkenskolen. De kommer faktisk også med hjem i køkkenet.
Og jeg vil sige, at det har betydet, at man er blevet lidt mere madmodig, som vi kalder derhjemme. Det betyder, at man tør smage på lidt flere ting, også børnene. Også bare kaste sig ud og lave noget prøve sig lidt frem, forsøge sig lidt frem i køkkenet.
Jeg tror meget, det var den der kone laver maden. Det har været rigtig meget før. Nu er det bare bundet mig og Andreas sammen og sige, at vi regerer her i køkkenet, og vi bestemmer. Så kan konen blande sig ud noget. Hun synes, det er super fint. Hun er jo lykkelig, jo.
So I hope you could feel a little bit the atmosphere, what happens when dad and kids cook together. What struck me about this particular video is that they are talking about the social dimension of how they like to spend quality time with their kids, and also that the children says that they like spending alone time with their dads. And the social aspect is very important when you're cooking together. I always say that cooking is not only about filling up your stomach, but also there's so many other stuff, other things that is important when you cook together. So let's look at our framework and pedagogy. How do you say that? So we always use a positive approach, and this may seem a little bit ridiculous, but it means a lot when people come to a course that you will meet them with open arms and a smile. So you create an instant atmosphere of joy and fun. And then it's very important for us that they have successful experience together. So we are not cooking Michelin star food, and we are not in a hurry. We are trying to take it very easy, and we have a lot of kitchen pauses, we call it, where we show them some of the kitchen skills and the kitchen hacks. Some of you probably watching Instagram and Facebook and watching all the kitchen hacks, so how you can cook, slice up vegetables fast and stuff. So that's one of our key points to introduce to the dads and the children. So the dads know how to involve the kids, and the kids have fun, like successful experience by cooking or chopping up a cucumber or a carrot. And then we're doing the same things a lot of times. So cooking a carrot may seem very easy, but when you chopped it up 10 times, it kind of stuck in your head, and you're doing it like so easy the later on. So there's a lot about pointing fingers, talking about healthy food and stuff. We don't mention that at all, because it's important that we are talking about the funny things about being in the kitchen together. So no talking about healthy food, vegetables, but we use them. So there's a lot of vegetables and not so much meat, and then that means that they learn also what a fennel is, for instance, or other vegetables that they never had in their hand before. And then it has to be, as I mentioned before, recipes that suit families' everyday lives. So we want them to go back afterwards and cook a really healthy tomato sauce. And if we made the recipe too easy, or too difficult, and you need to spend a lot of time in the kitchen, we know that they will not cook that at home. So it's easy recipes that you can cook fast. Here's three different things that I already mentioned. So if I'm gonna jump to number 4, we have this that we call the learning ladder. So we always try to put on, new kitchen skills and new kitchen hacks, and we're also trying to challenge them a little bit the 4th or 5th time. So we had 5 times, and the first time's a tomato sauce, and then actually the 4th time we do a restaurant day where they have to serve three different dishes to one of their guests. Everybody can invite one guest, And so we're trying to put something to the learning ladder, as you probably know from mathematics, for instance, in elementary school. You always try to push the bar a little bit. I was mentioning this before about the tricks that makes it easier for parents to cook with their children. These kitchen hacks or kitchen skills is a way that that parents see that the children will actually be a help in the kitchen. So using these very simple kitchen hacks, we can the parents go away with the feeling that the children is a help in the kitchen, and I will get back to that in a minute. And here's some pictures of some of the recipes we're doing. As you can see, there's a lot of vegetable, and it's really easy recipes. For instance, we call it the strawberry soft ice at the right on my screen. It's a very easy recipe that is healthy, and you can just put all the ingredients in a blender and then it will come out like this. Maybe not with the mint on top, but close to. 11 years has passed, and we are very happy that we have been going around most of Denmark with our dad's cookery school. 7,500 fathers and their children has been participating in our courses, and I haven't cloned myself, so I haven't been teaching all over Denmark. So we've been doing the trainer program, and then it's just been expanding for the last 11 years. Unfortunately, and we will come back to that later, many of the municipalities don't have made different strategies, so they're not focusing on prevention so much anymore, and that's why we are only 11 municipalities part of our non-profit organization right now. Here's some pictures from all over Denmark. As you can see, it looks the same wherever you are, and it's always happy faces. I can say from my experience cooking around or teaching around 400 dad's cookery school for the last 11 years, I have never walked away I have always walked away with a smile on my face like the dads and the children here. Yeah, and here's some stats from our. Unfortunately, I have a little bit trouble reading it, but here you can see some of the stats. So we are very, very happy with this. I have another slide here that will show, Mette mentioned it before, that about the inequality. So being a dad is the positive identity. So men don't come because what they are doing or how much they weigh. They come because their identity is that they are dad. So that attract dads from all the social layers in the societies, and we are very happy about that. Watching the carpenter cooking next to the mayor, we actually had experience with that. So everybody is welcome, and if they don't have a dad, we've been seeing a lot of granddads, uncles, and other men close to the family. Here's our external evaluator, who has this little quote. I think you can read by yourself. And here's another one, also from our external evaluation. And now I'm gonna bring Mom back, because Mom is also very, very happy about Dad's cookery school. Let's see what Mom has to say to it.
Good. Thank you, Jonas. Yes. We have a lot of moms who are very thrilled with their husbands going to dad's cookery school. And here on our Facebook page, you can see that it's in Danish, so we've translated it. There's a mom saying that, lovely that my husband comes home from dad's cookery school and tells me that it's fine that I make a salad with pointed cabbage. And this is just an example on how changing eating habits is difficult, but if you get a good experience, then slowly there'll be new ingredients that come into the kitchen at home. Another advice we'll give anybody who will start cookery schools all around is that recruit the children, go after that. We have in the beginning handed out invitation to the children in schools, and then the children was the one who wanted to participate and came home to the fathers and said, hey, we want to come, and that no dad can say no to that. So that's why we had a big success with getting recruiting the fathers. We also lately did some smoothie bike events, which again is an involving activity, and was very successful in order to get people to know about cookery schools and get them to want to join. A bit about how we have expanded the concept. We've been in over 30 municipalities in Denmark, and that was actually the way we have expanded it, because we started in a municipality and we developed the concept for other municipalities. So that's the one model where actually the municipalities get all the materials that we have developed, from invitations to the recipes to guides to the teachers, and we have trained them. Of course, they need some equipment. We've had that given to them as well. But they are the main organizers, and they find the teachers, they pay them salary, and are responsible for recruiting. And of course, they can always call us for help, and we will love to help them. As time has gone, we have developed another model, also because we saw that as Jonas said, the municipalities didn't have the opportunity to do it and to do dad's cookery anymore. So we actually thought that it would be easier if we were the one who were responsible and the organizers, and then we just helped with everything, finding the teachers, recruiting the families, etc. And here they then pay us a bit more to be having all those functions. An experience for us is that low participant payment is essential in order to have people, every kind of people joining, as well as funding from municipalities or other foundations, so that the participant payment is low. And now I'll tell you about the second cookery school that we have been working with. The family kitchen arose out of Copenhagen municipalities' desire to reduce health inequality in vulnerable residential areas. And here we took the best from Dad's kitchen school into another concept. So the joyful cooking is the essential part. Here we have 10 families, each consisting of one child and a parent. They meet up in a school kitchen where they cook together in cozy settings. This concept has a focus on eating vegetable in season, not doing so much food waste, and then of course just eating healthy ingredients. And through 3 years we have had 350 families on that program. And the results you can see here. It's only a survey with 30 participants. In our Dad's Kitchen School survey, we had 316 dads who was in a part of that. Here you can see that 100% were, after being a part of the family kitchen, were more motivated to cook with their child, and 93% gained skills that made it easier for them to involve their child in cooking. 89% were more motivated to cook seasonal vegetables, and 87% were more willing to reduce food waste. And then The social thing, while cooking, they made new friends. That's what 87% said. And 100% were very satisfied and would recommend it to others. And 100% were motivated to eat healthier. I think that's different in the family kitchen is that we have illustrated recipes, a way to create a common language for parent and child, and to take language challenges into account. So that was a very good thing. Yes, I'll just go back. Another thing we also had here in the family kitchen was that we have babysitters, because a lot of the family who participated, they had a lot of kids, and they wouldn't have come if they only could come with one child. So we found out that it was actually a very good idea to have babysitters, and of course then the rest of the siblings, they joined for dinner. So, what do you need to get started? If any of you would like to get more into doing these cooking classes, yeah, actually it seems very easy, because you need some teachers, you need a kitchen or a fire or another suitable place. You need some parents and some children. You need a framework and a pedagogical setup suitable for the target audience. You need healthy ingredients and family-friendly recipes. And then you need some funding to all the administration to make people come, to buy salary, and of course to buy the ingredients. In the family kitchen, it was free for the participants to pay, to participate. And here we also had a very good collaboration with the social housing workers in 5 different areas in Copenhagen. So when you need to have cooking schools in more vulnerable areas, you need to do more to find the right participants. Yeah. Another advice for starting health promoting cookery courses is that establish partnerships with organizations close to the target audience. We have, as you've heard, worked with municipalities. It could also be other organizations. We also find that when you design the program and recruit, then emphasize on the community aspect over the health aspect, because, as we said before, they really want to come because it's fun, joyful, and social. And we also just thought that maybe this hands-on approach could be used in other areas to promote health. It could be exercise or nature-based activities. Yes. So the next step for us in Hello Kitchen is that we will apply for funding to expand our cookery classes even more. We're still working on how we should do that, and develop on the models that we've made. And we'll also apply for funding to develop and expand a new cookery concept with even more plant-based and climate-friendly food. So that's what we are at the moment trying to get together. And maybe some of you would like to collaborate. You're definitely welcome to contact us if you have any questions or do want to hear more about our work. So, yes.
Thank you so much, Mette and Jonas, for a really fascinating overview. And I can already see some comments and questions coming in from the audience who seem to love the program, love the outcomes, and keen to hear more about how you do it. So just a reminder to those people listening online, please do add your questions now. They will come through to us. And whilst you're just putting those questions in, I'll start with some of the questions that we had thought of in advance. So, I mean, help us to put it a little bit more in context in terms of some of the challenges that the communities that you're working are facing, right? Whether it's the fathers, whether it's the families as a whole. I mean, are they facing issues in accessing affordable fresh ingredients? Do they have time issues at home? You know, as you said, people want to cook, they enjoy it, and the kids like it. But there's some you gave some of the data from Denmark, which is showing that, it's going down, and not enough people are eating home-prepared meals. So what's driving this in the bigger scale, just to help people outside understand what's going on here?
Yes, I think there's different levels, because there's one thing which is like the dietary guidelines that we get from the government, and how do we make them active? Like, people know there are some advices they have to try to reach, but how could they do it? And we've thought, or we have seen, that getting it into their hands is positive. Like, we need to have more places where people can translate them into dishes, into something that they like at home. That's the one thing. And the other thing is that, of course, we are in Denmark and everywhere else really busy. So we work a lot and we don't have time to cook. But we have to put it on top of we have to change that thing around, because we actually can get much more when we prioritize to cook. But we also see that people or parents, they need some kind of crash course, because yes, we all have kids. We know it's not easy. It's greasy everywhere. So we need these memorable experiences where they can see now we have this dish, we can go home and repeat.
Yeah.
So crash course for parents, and it could be 5 times. It could also be 1 time, or an event, or anything. But just the focus on, hey, we actually have to cook every day. Can we do it as a fun activity? Not every day with the kids, but sometimes. Then it can. Yeah. So that's some of the issues we have to work with.
Yeah. Anything to add on that issue?
No, I agree with Mette. We are living in the western part of the world where the fast food is it's just next to us, and it's so much easier to choose the easy thing. I think one of the things that surprised me at the beginning of Dad's Cookery School was that the social dimension. So we also have what you can call a multi-dimensional course here, because we help the dads, we help the children. There's the social dimension, and then there's also the healthy dimension with cooking, with all these vegetables. And I talk to a lot of dads in all these kitchen courses, and they come because it's a meaningful activity that they can go back and repeat at home, as Mette says. So the crash course is a good thing, but also for the children, that they have these food memories with their dads. Now it's been going on for 10 years, so sometimes we talk to dads from 10 years ago, and we hear that they still talk about Dad's Cookery School. So you create some kind of good memories about cooking healthy food together that you will take into their adulthood, and that's very interesting for me. Yeah, for us.
I think one of my key takeaways that I heard as well, I mean, it's something that I know and believe in as well, is that food and eating is not just about nutrition, right? It is important for nutrition, but it's so much about culture, enjoyment, socialization, and time with family and friends. So I guess that's a really important element. And I mean, one of the things that was also really interesting for us as a program, where we, as I mentioned in my introduction, that we have a focus on reaching vulnerable populations, whether that's people with low education or low income, because we know from the big data that they have a increased risk of either having unhealthy diets, being physically inactive, or having high risk of disease. And I guess many of people who are interested in replicating this program will probably want to reach similar audiences in their, or similar groups in their own context. What challenges have you faced in reaching those communities, and how did you overcome that? I think you gave one example around, some language barriers can sometimes be an issue. Is there anything else that you've experienced, and any tips you would have for people trying to reach those audiences?
Yeah. Well, the family kitchen, maybe I didn't say that very clearly, but we did that in collaboration with the municipality of Copenhagen and 5 housing associations. So this is people, or workers, the workers there, they know the people, and they know who need this kind of experience. So I think the advice is that we have to involve them, because they know who could need a good experience, and then they can help recruiting. And then it has to be free, maybe, in order to make them come. And the thing with the babysitters, so if that's a barrier, and all the other barriers, let's try to find a way around those. And then yeah.
And then also in Danish cookery school, we've been working together with school nurses who also knows the children a little bit better than we do. And again, it's a positive course. So you come as a dad, you come as a family, don't come because you're obese or you have psychological problems or something. So they come and get the successful experience together. And many of the kids that we had on Danish cookery, not many, but some of the children, they don't have a lot of success in school with mathematics or Danish or biology. And then they come and they have to use their hands to create something. And then they go away with a successful story together with their dad. And the school nurses told us a lot of great stories about that too. So it's a positive way to recruit children in their family. Yeah.
And that's also what's food about, like, because we all have to eat.
Yeah.
And also in the vulnerable areas, a lot of people have skills in cooking, but maybe they don't have a job. And then they come here and actually get a success with the showing how they do some dish from another country.
We don't have any evidence that it actually created a job for these moms and dads, but we see their faces and they're very proud of how they also have an influence on their children. Because I think every parents in the whole world don't want their children to get that same bad habits as they grew up with. So I had a dad who said to me, I want my daughter to not only be able to put French fries into the oven when she moves away from home, as I could. So that's a good quote, I think.
We also hear from the social workers in the vulnerable areas that this is a good, very easy way to talk with them and be together about something that is not about how to behave and how to raise your child and preventing all sorts of things. This is very equal. Like we go there, and then if the social workers have the time to participate, they will get a better connection with these families, and that can bring a lot good with.
Yeah, so it can serve many different purposes. I can see one question that we have coming in is around, impressed with the outcomes, and they're sort of interested to learn how you measure the impact and track that. So, I guess adding on to that question, so how do you do it in terms of measuring the impact and track it? And also sort of, how do you know what, I guess, the municipalities are looking at? Are the data that you have, are they relevant for the municipalities? Is that what the municipalities want to hear?
Well, we have had different evaluators, and it's been like questionnaire from the beginning, afterwards, and in Dad's cookery school we've had 6 months after. So here we've been asking about various questions, and as the slide where you could see the results from Dad's Kitchen School, you can see like it's self-assessed, all of it. So you ask like, what did you achieve by joining Dad's Cookery School or the family kitchen? And here it's like the social part, getting new friends, having a better relationship is very high. I feel like I have been able now. I'm able to involve my child in the kitchen. My child offers to help more in the cooking, and
we know more vegetables and
etc. And we have also seen like the after measurement, like half a year after at Dad's Cookery School. It was only with 68 participants, but still here 50% believe that they have they eat more healthy, like more whole grain, more vegetable after Dad's Kitchen School. But we would really love to do more, like more research into the effects. But the municipalities are really interested in the men's health dimension and like the two target audience at the same time, or we also prevent some children. But of course, they would be more interested if we could show that this is really a help against obesity, and we at the same time we want people to come as they are. We don't want to put them on a weight. No. So that's something that we're working with, and you can say the social dimension is the one that is really high, and then a lot of people learn new ingredients that they have that they want to use at home.
Have you had any interest from academic partners to be involved in evaluation? Or, I mean, was the evaluation an academic partner?
It was from 2017 to 2020, we had Aalborg University joining.
Yeah.
So, and there's a big report and there are a lot of good results.
You mentioned in the presentation that some of the municipalities that you're working on are maybe a little bit constrained for resources or even not focusing so much on prevention. Could you put a few words to what you see as the situation in Denmark in that respect?
Yeah, well, they have to prioritize a lot because there are not a lot of money for prevention. That's what we see. And then they have to do stop smoking courses, and which is very important as well. So they have to prioritize, and at sometimes that's not then that's cookery school. It's not an offer they want to have anymore. So, but we know that they experience that this it's a very attractive. Like sometimes they have very good interventions in their municipalities, and that's where they see that that's cookery school, that's attractive. Even though they had a lot of other ones, this is the one that is meaningful, and that's also a thing that we meet again and again because we want to do something to make people eat more healthy, but what is meaningful for them? We have to think more about that in the interventions that we do.
Yeah, because right now we're talking together with, as Mette mentioned, focusing on a more plant-based course. Still, dad's cookery school or mom's cookery school or grandparents' cookery school, but with more plant-based, because now we know that the municipality has a lot of focus on sustainability and the climate, and maybe that's a way in for us. We're talking together with a big different collaborations who are very interested, and also Aarhus University, a professor there sees the multidimensional aspects in the project, as we mentioned many times today. And that's interesting, that if you can make a course where you cook together and you get outputs from different things that you never, like we had with the social dimension. This wasn't a project for a social dimension, but we found out very fast that this is actually a social project too.
Yeah.
So it will be interesting to see if it's also a climate project, and you can help people eating more lentils and more beans instead of meat. So,
that's an exciting new direction. Well, there's one question from the audience, and do keep them coming through, around how whether or not you're working with the school system, and then how do you position yourself vis-a-vis, I guess, some competitors? You could call them in the sense, people who are like encouraging families to eat ready-made food, buy packaged food and stuff like that. I mean, how do you sensitize participants to that at all?
I think I can answer the first question. I think I didn't mention it before. So we are in Danish Cookery School. We're working with children from 2nd to 4th grade here in Denmark. So it's from 8 to 11 years old. So we don't do high schools. We've been doing a lot of different pilot projects with children a little bit older. But we always want to have the children, the parents, and a lot of high school students don't want to bring their parents. So, and to the next questions, I think this has nothing to do with competing with the restaurant chains. I think we will be helping a lot of the non-fast food restaurant chains, because we see that the children want to taste more food, and maybe they will not choose a fast food chain, but one of the restaurants instead the next time they're going to celebrate their birthday maybe. Yeah. We are, I think that was the answer.
And the question about the schools, we actually have some events in schools at the moment, or it's like in an after school offer where we do snacks with a lot of children in the municipality of Copenhagen. We have like the smoothie bike, and we have other machines that are really good at involving the kids. So we would like to do more in schools, but we have to again choose what we focus on, and that's where the cooking classes, parents and kids or grandparents and kids are the most thing we do right now.
Yeah, it's very interesting what you mentioned about the that places offering sort of a healthier option in terms of like ready to eat healthy foods. I'm from the UK, you can probably tell by the accent, and the UK is one of the countries with the highest consumption of ultra-processed food in the world. I think it's second after the US. And this is anecdotal, right? I haven't done a survey. This is not science-based, but you can see in the street here that there is actually, some offer that is healthier, salad-based takeout foods. And it's quite interesting just to watch the type of people that are using that as well. It's very diverse. All sorts of people from all different ranges of backgrounds are using those healthier takeout things. So, I mean, there is a demand as well for people to have accessible, healthy food as well. So, yeah, it's interesting that you frame them not as competitors, but, so it's good. One of the things, what would be interested to hear what has surprised you in your work with communities. What is, if you were to sort of take away, I don't know, some lessons or, this was really surprising. We went into this community, we were working with these people and we didn't expect this at all, but we then adapted and changed afterwards. Is there anything that you'd like to share about your learning journey there?
I think what surprised us was that how universal Dad's Cookery School was. Actually, because it's been, like you saw on the map, people are different if you come from a countryside, or we thought that it would be very different. But they have the same aprons, as you saw, on in colorful. That's very pedagogical because you are in a team with two dads and you have the same color. So this was a surprise that, okay, they all like the recipes and they all like the same things. That was a surprise. And then, oh no, do you have a comment?
Yeah, I would say the same. It was very surprising for us how easy it was to copy from Copenhagen. As you said, it's no secret that in Copenhagen people are healthier and there's more healthy food, fast food chains. But when we go to a small island called Læsø, Læsø, they're actually the smallest municipality where you maybe have a pizzeria and a Burger King, and you don't even have a Burger King, but maybe a burger bar. You will see this exact same thing happening there, and that was a real surprise for me. Also, their way of smiling and cooking together with your children, there was no difference. And then I think one of the good examples from a municipality close to Copenhagen called Tornby, they actually invested a lot of money into, not a lot of money, but some money into Dad's Kitchen School, where we will arrange everything. And they did that because it's a good, it's a positive project for the municipality. So I'm not gonna use the word brand, but then again, a little bit branding for moving to Tornby, where you have cookery classes for the families.
Yeah.
So that was also a surprise for me that they actually decided that we're gonna go all in on this cookery thing.
Yeah.
Of course, our old municipality, Vallensbæk, has the same program, and they do a lot of cookery. And they also got inspired to do cookery schools with different groups. So, and that's also one of the things that we always say to the municipality. So you can start with Dad's Cookery School, and then maybe you can expand to different groups. And you get some good ideas how to easily cook with the different groups. Yeah.
We also saw that, because we were the teachers in the beginning in the municipality of Vallensbæk, and we thought, like, who's going to teach, like, in all these other cities? And we thought, like, who? And then when we started up, like, it was so many different, like, chefs or people who cooked food in a kindergarten, and
yeah, and then and
the results were the same. It was not. I'm sorry, it was so funny, but like we got good results everywhere, even though it was not Jonas who invented it. So with me, so that was a surprise.
And it was also nice to have this feeling of community with all these different teachers and around Denmark. That we met up like a couple of times a year in the beginning, and we talked about the good things and the bad things, because it's not just a happy project. We have challenges too.
Yeah.
But together with them and putting their ideas into our project was also a wonderful thing, I think.
Are they they salaried? They're paid to be so it's not volunteer.
Yeah.
In that sense.
That's another thing from the municipality. They really like volunteers. But we think
understand why. Yeah.
we understand why, but we think it's important also to give some credit to the teachers, so they can have a salary for the great work that they're doing.
Yeah, and also because it's not an easy job. Like, you have to buy, you have to prepare, you have to have 12 men and 12 children in the kitchen. Like, it needs you have to have some skills.
Yeah.
I used to coach soccer or football for many years, and it was really easy. I went and took a ball and then play a little bit with this ball, and then here you have to think about a lot of things.
And I imagine cooking classes is something, and the concept is something that can cross borders, right? I mean, probably lots of different people in different countries are facing similar challenges. Is it something that you've engaged across borders with, like with people from different countries, about the challenges, opportunities?
It's funny that you asked that question, because I think 3-4 months ago we were actually doing a presentation at WHO. More or less the same presentation, and there was people from 25 different cities in Europe, and many came up afterwards from Malta, Poland, Germany, and they have the same feeling. And as Mette said before, it's universal to be a dad or a mom. So you can expand it to other countries very easily. Of course, in Denmark, there's a practical thing that we have school kitchens in our elementary school, so it's easier to find a kitchen. But you can also do dad's kitchen school around a fire or something. And we did that actually. So I think it's very easy to expand, and we heard from the presentation at WHO that many people were interested. Right now we are focusing, as we said, to get some more funding, put some more plant-based climate food into our courses, and then we're ready to take over the world.
We're very interested. We would like to go and use our experiences in other places.
Yeah. Super. I mean, one of the slides that you had there was a little bit about like some of the core elements that are offered by Hello Kitchen. But if somebody was looking to replicate this in their own context, like, what would be 2 to 3 pieces of key advice that you would offer them when they're starting out?
I think the thing Mette said before, working together with these social workers who could like point out the families who are important, because the recruiting can sometimes be difficult, because if you don't know exactly what it is, are you gonna sign up for it? So doing these events, we've been doing these events, as Mette mentioned, with the smoothie bikes, with the children, and children has a curiosity that is way better than us parents, so they will sign up, and then when you have them hooked, then the parents are hooked. So definitely the recruiting process, and then of course doing the simple recipes and not trying to, as I said, with Dad's Kitchen School, we have a lot of time. So there's a lot of time to talk together and do some kitchen pauses when you talk about how far we are in the process. So also take it very easy. And then I don't know, do you have...
Yeah, as the kitchen pauses or the kitchen breaks is where we like, when we start the cooking, we only do a bit of the cooking, and then we meet again, and then we show how to do it, like the kitchen tricks, but also now you have to do this and this. So we break up the teaching, which is a very good way to keep everybody engaged, and maybe the good chefs, they will be done before them without experience as they have started. So that's a good way to like keep everybody activated.
And then another thing that Mette actually taught me in the beginning of that kitchen school, I remember, it's great, Mette, let's expand. I'm going to call Jamie Oliver. It can definitely go in the UK as well. And she said, easy now, Jonas, we need evaluation. And now I found out after 10, 11 years how important evaluation is. You need to have some good evaluation with a good university or professor or something. And that's also what we're looking for now. So good evaluation will get you more funding and will get you to kind of get the municipality hooked or the area or the community where you cook. So that's also a very essential thing.
And if you don't have a smoothie bag, you can do your own curry or like another fun
of different activities with
where you can attract people.
Yeah.
And then if you have a teacher who loves to cook, then their joy will automatically spread to the participants.
Yeah.
So.
And do you have a sense, I mean, this is starting to look towards the future of some communities that you just think, we're not quite reaching them, or like we're doing great at reaching this group, but we'd like to push a little bit more in reaching these groups?
I think I have a good story because it was very easy to get different cultural dads to attend to Dad's Kitchen School in the beginning because there's a cultural difference of how much the mom do at home or a dad. And then I think the family kitchen idea here showed that you need to collaborate with the social workers to get different type of dads or moms to attend to the courses. I don't know, do you have any other...
I think there are a lot of target audiences that could be interesting, like those high school where we see a lot of loneliness or people not, the youth is not so doing so well. That I'm sure that the cooking will also bring them closer together and be helpful. But
one of the really important thing is we also did a course with obese teenagers. I think it's 8 years ago, and what they all said was that I'm not obese because I don't know what to eat. I'm obese because of so many other things. My mom is depressed, or my dad is an alcoholic, and for them coming into a community where they didn't feel, we hear that all the time. That was the biggest thing for them. So if you can address that even more, how important it is for lonely people or for people who feel different than other, being part of a community where you cook together, because everybody needs to cook, and it's such a meaningful activity. So you can really involve everybody. We've been having a 100-year-old Ellen in a cookery school one time, and that was amazing to hear her story from the World War II, what they could eat at that time. So there's a lot of stories in food as well.
Great. Well, I think our time is up. So, I mean, maybe if you could just briefly, Mette, say if we're to hear from you in the next 2 to 3 years, what exciting things could we hopefully hear from Hello Kitchen? And then I'll have to move to the wrap-up.
Well, hopefully we will be expanding even more and doing the plant-based climate change in many municipalities in Denmark. It could be great to hear from some cities outside Denmark, and we would love to go out and help start some cookery schools there.
Great. Well, thank you both for your time today. Time is definitely up. A few points before I leave you. I just want to signpost you to the resources about this recording, which is going to be available at our Cities Changing Diabetes YouTube channel. If you have questions or want to be in contact with Jonas and Mette, please reach out to us at the email address you can see on your screen now. We've also actually got a guide to the work of Hello Kitchen, which is available on our website, which you can see on the slide. The next CCD rounds will take place after the summer, so look out for an invitation around September where we're going to be focusing on urban planning and the concept of the 15-minute city. So thanks again, Mette and Jonas, for your time today. Thanks to everyone who joined online for the great questions. We hope the content was helpful for you and look forward to seeing you again next time. Have a wonderful rest of your day and do keep sharing all these exciting activities, news, and tips.